serious difficulties, and time is running out. And so they see it as ethically possible to operate in a cooperative way with us while still giving us major responsibility, room to take major responsibility in straightening up our society and healing our planet.
Richard, do you see the future of this relationship with them and us as people as getting better and better?
Yes. For a while there, over the last year or two, the discussions that I was getting from council members there was a lot of back and forth about, the teeter-totter, but as more and more people start to make a difference in our society, and I think if you look around carefully, and the listeners look around carefully, they'll see that there are people stepping forward to make changes, to speak out against abuses and corruption and bad government and environmental destruction and violence and war and so forth. And they've determined that with some help and emphasis and push and communication and encouragement from them, we can turn this thing around in time, that we're not a lost cause. So they did a little future viewing, if you will. Military guys aren't the only people that do remote viewing.
All right, so they give you a little glimpse of the future for us?
Yeah, they see these teams deployed and cooperatively working on various areas. We mentioned medical technology advances and environmental improvement, and there's many other areas we could get into. But this is going to be the future. I proposed to them that what we needed is a central repository for information, that a lot of the information that they've shared with us has gotten bottled up by these cabal types, and it's been classified, and the public can't get at it and benefit from it.
Did they ever describe, Richard, what their craft looks like? I'm curious. With so many different star nations, I mean, are they all the same?
No. They have a great variety of craft. You've seen the disc and the cigar shapes and the triangles and things that look like a top or an ice cream cone, circular, rhomboid, rectangular. They come in an even kind of diffuse energy, which I'm not clear if that's an ambient plasma field or whether the craft itself is kind of diffuse energy. But they come in a huge variety, just as on Earth not all our airplanes look the same.
What about the propulsion system for all the craft, even though they may look different? Is the propulsion system similar?
Well, I think there are some varieties, because these are different civilizations doing their thing. Anti-gravity is certainly the bottom line, but there are kinds of anti-gravity. There's electrogravitic, magnetogravitic, and then a kind of working with the strong force field and manipulating that Bob Lazar has talked about. And different craft give off different kinds of effects and signatures. Some of them seem to have some magnetic effects on Earth. Some seem to send out electronic signals. Some seem to put out a bit of a heat signature. Some seem to affect the electronics on nearby planes that fly by them, and others don't. So, it seems that there's a variety of technologies that work, but the bottom line is they all keep the craft up in the air and it doesn't crash.
Why you, Richard? I mean, have you tried to answer that or resolve that for yourself? Why you, and how did this telepathic message come to you? I mean, did it just come in a dream? Did you get a funny feeling? What happened?
Well, I've been in dialogue with some people in a team that also worked on helping this hearing happen earlier that nailed the cabal for their misdeeds. So I've gotten a combination of telepathic messages from others and my own readings on that come together to put this message together. And I've gotten indications, as I say, from other associates and from Chief Golden Eagle as well. And the why me, I can't say in an absolutist sense. I do know that they've kind of tagged me as the representative for Earth to speak with their counselors, the High Council, if you will.
Well, you have not met them yet, though, have you?
Yes. I have met several of them.
Wait a minute. You're holding back on me now, Richard. When did this happen?
Well, I took a trip and was in their presence. They have not manifested in a physically separate way, but their energy field is there, and they've in some cases used a person to communicate through, use their voice box to communicate through. The thing here is that they said that Earth is about 2 ticks below the developmental level that they usually have as the minimum level of cultural and social development in a planetary society for them to bother with. We're about 2 ticks below that, but because there is a unique and kind of intriguing potential in humans, spiritual and even psychic giftedness, potentials, and enough intelligence that they felt that an exception would be made to the usual, well, pass them by and go on to some other planet that's worth saving that isn't so far gone. And so Earth has not been accepted into the Star Nation's family of inhabited worlds yet, designating a human representative. Myself at the moment, I hear that there are a couple of youngsters, a boy and a girl star kid, that are into their late grade school years and teens respectively, that are going to be council representatives down the line. But at the moment, I'm kind of designated hitter for this communication. But Earth is had to be talked to, to get this ball rolling of turning things around and give us hope and give us an understanding of what had to happen in the past, over 40 years ago, to get enough of a path cleared to raise consciousness. We're at a whole different consciousness level on Earth now than we were in 1961. And now we're ready to engage with the Star Nations as visiting cultures. We've had enough of Star Trek and George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and all of these presentations. Everybody's kind of gotten used to the fact that, in fact, some of our scientists now are talking about planets out there that look like they're the right size to harbor life, and finding organic molecules in the atmosphere and all the ingredients for life. The public consciousness has been softened up to the fact that the star visitors come out in public now. People aren't going to fall down and worship them as gods. They're not going to have any reason to fear them as invaders. They are going to understand that just as when we send explorers to visit a more primitive Indian tribe up the Amazon, they're still human beings. Cultures differ, but people can recognize basic humanity between each other and come to some understandings, and that when they come out in the open, we'll be able to engage on that level as well, with mutual respect and appreciation of intelligence and spirituality and develop consciousness between